Vicky stared at the cracked paint on her bedroom wall and tried to imagine the skyline she'd seen 100 times online: glass towers, bright billboards, a life that didn't smell like damp, petrol and disappointment. Nigeria had given her a childhood, a stubborn work ethic, but no safety net. Day after day she'd watched what she saved slip away to emergencies or family needs. The idea of leaving had started as a whisper and then became a roar inside her. She would go. She would build something that couldn't be taken from her. For 6 years she had cut corners that would have made friends joke and family worry. No new phone, no fancy shoes, weekends without dinners, also she could tuck away naira after naira in a batter tin. Each coin represented a trade, present comfort for a future she believed in. When she thought of America, she didn't only think of wealth, she thought of air that didn't feel heavy, of a life where her worth could be measured by more than survival. That's why, when people in her neighborhood mentioned a man named Amilo, a visa agent who got things done, Vicky listened. He had a calm way of talking, the kind of voice that makes trouble sound like a small, fixable mistake. He greeted her in a tidy office with framed travel posters on the wall and a leather chair that creaked when he sat. He smelled faintly of aftershave and ink. He explained the process with the kind of certainty that loosens shoulders. It will cost 20 million naira, he said without flinching. The number landed in her like a physical weight. It was more than she had ever seen in one place. It meant selling the car that had taken her to night shifts, the television that had been her rare luxury, the gold earrings her mother had given her. It meant people would think she'd lost her mind. But in the quiet after he left, a resolution settled over her. I will raise it, she told herself aloud, and the word steadied her. She sold things she'd once thought essential. She let go of furniture pieces that had anchored lonely nights. She emptied accounts. She watched the last of her savings move into Amilo's hands, crisp bundles counted carefully across his desk. He accepted the cash with a smile so small it might have been politeness she couldn't tell. Weeks crawled. She oscillated between hope and panic, checking her phone until her thumb ached. Then the call came. Your document is ready, he said, and in a second the past months transformed into a real, trembling possibility. Vicky rushed to his office and when he set the passport in front of her, she let herself breathe for the first time in years. The US visa stamp blinked up at her like a promise. The travel date stared back, 1 week. Her hands shook as she held the passport, the room seemed to tilt toward light. She told only a few people. Her mother hugged her like she might disappear. A cousin who had once left the country sent a voice note, "Make it count, Vicky." Those days were a mix of small rituals: folding clothes carefully, practicing what to say at customs, rehearsing the first sentence she would speak when she arrived, "I made it." Then the morning came. She dressed in her best outfit and walked into the airport with a walk rehearsed for confidence. At the immigration counter she felt buoyant until the officer, courteous and apologetic, lifted the passport, scanned the visa, looked up and said a single devastating word. "More, I'm sorry. This visa is fake." For a second Vicky felt the world tilt away. The airport lights flashed, the waiting crowd lulled on the other side of glass, and she heard the blood in her ears. Her feet went weak. She called Amilo. Someone else's practice came through the line. "Impossible," he said. "There must be a mistake. Don't panic. I'll be there." His arrival was quick and sleek, a big car, windows tinted. He acted like a man with options. He looked at her with a professional pity and then gave her instructions in an even tone. "This airport has a problem," he said. "Come with me. We'll use another route." He didn't take her back to the city. The paved road stained, and the buildings disappeared. The car bumped along a dusty path that squeezed between thick brush until the trees closed in. Vicky's throat grew dry with a different kind of fear. She was not a stranger to risk, but this felt like a wrong turn the world takes without permission. At a small clearing, she saw other faces, 5 people standing around, each looking as lost as she felt. The air smelled like leaves and dust and something older. Amilo's voice cut across the quiet. Everyone, get in the Hilux, he said. Something in her tightened. Memories flared of trusting a man with a promise and handing him everything she'd built. She thought of her mother's hands, the look in their neighbor's eyes when she saw the television. She thought of the cold, certain belief that had carried her this far. She felt anger, too anger sharper than fear. No, she said, loud in the hush. I'm not getting into any van. Give me my money back. Amilo didn't blink. His face smoothed over into a mask she could no longer read. The tone in his voice hardened. He reached under the seat and produced something black and heavy that stole the warmth from the day gone. It looked absurd there, against the sun-splashed dust and the green of the trees. Get in that van, he said calmly, as though he were setting the table for dinner and not holding someone's life like a bargaining chip. Now. The men around the van climbed in without protest, faces taut. Vicky felt every breath in her chest like a tiny bell. The world beyond the bushes felt distant and unreal, as if someone else had taken the map of her life and started scribbling lines she didn't recognize. She found, in that moment, a cold clarity. This was not about visas or airports. It was about the currency of trust and how someone could spend a person's whole life on a promise. The rest was a decision she hadn't chosen. To be continued.